Okay, this is the Post-16 Pack 4 Home Learning. We've got the summary sheet, which tells you a little bit about what you're going to expect in this particular pack. I'm going to go straight through it. So the first thing we're looking at independence is portion control. Very important, get your portion control right, as it can lead to problems in the future. So we've got some explanation for you to read with someone for the start. So we've got lots of information here and some pictures. Then we've got some, now remember the activities are green for everyone, blue for some people, and purple for a real challenge, or if you've got extra support at home. So the first thing is a green activity to create a poster. Next thing, now this is a blued activity, so not everyone's going to do it, or do it if you do have support, is to fill in a food diary. We're moving on to lesson 2. We're looking at portion sizes again. Now, recommended portion sizes and what you get in restaurants or what they dish to you in the things that you buy at the supermarket are not the same. And as you can see, over time, things have changed. So it's quite interesting how that's happened. Okay, we've got some guidance here about what the appropriate portion size is, and then you've got an activity. Now remember, it is about different activities depending on what you're able to do. So green one, everyone should be able to do. So we've got some questions there. If you do need support from home, then ask for it. We've got a nice activity here where you're going to draw a meal with the right amount of servings and the right size of servings. Activity 2, it's a blue one, so not everyone will be able to do this, or if you do, get some support. So this time we're going to be talking about how many slices in the box of pizza you'd normally eat, and what actually is the recommended amount for you. And then we've got some green activities too. Next thing we're going to be looking at is independence and road safety. So we've got some ideas about why is it important to know the Green Cross code, and what are safe things to do, what are unsafe things to do. And we've also got an activity here where you can have a little look at some of the dangers which you might find out in the street. Good to be talking about this before you go outside, because we want you safe when you do. Then we've got an activity linked to how you can be safe in the car. So we've got a blue activity here to look at the poster and answer some questions. Okay, and then you can draw your own poster here if you want to. Right, we're also going to look at near roads, railways and rivers. Unfortunately, lots of young people do suffer terrible accidents near these things, sometimes fatal. So important information. So read through that with someone, then see if you can link up the hazard with the description. So you've got pictures and activities here. It's an activity for everyone, it is a blue. Then we've got some idea we're going to discuss what these signs mean. It is important when you're out and about that you do recognise these signs and know what they mean. We've got a blue activity here, so this time slightly more complicated images, so discuss them with someone at home. And then a purple activity to make a poster to show that you've understood at least 2 of those messages. Now we're looking at employability. It is a big focus for us in Post-16. These are some reasons why people would enjoy volunteering. Have a think about why you might want to apply for a job or placement. Now the other truth is about work placements is you won't enjoy everything. So here we've got them talking about some of the things that they don't enjoy about their placement, but hopefully when you do find somewhere there are more positives than negatives. So we're going to look at that. What might be some of the negatives of some of these jobs, and then think about some of the activities yourself. What would be the positives, what would be the negatives for you individually? And the last activity, it's a purple, so not everyone has to do this, but if you did have a job or voluntary role that you were doing, how would you get yourself going there on the days you didn't really feel like it? What positive things could you tell yourself? And that links into resilience nicely. Resilience, one of our school qualities, very important. So have a little look at the questions here, answer the questions about resilience. Then we've got a purple activity. It's a bit more difficult, so do it if you do have the support. We're then going to look at Motivational Board. So one of the things that can keep you going if you are feeling a bit demotivated, writing your own visions here would be helpful. And then we've got, again, we're looking at how we could use this motivation if you were a manager. Now some of you will like this purple role. It's about you being in charge, and I know some of you like to lead others, which is great. So have a think about what you would do if you were going to be most effective as a trainer. We're then going to look at some emotions. So you're going to colour them on according to the grid about how often you feel those emotions. Okay. Then we're going to look at these qualities in real life. So this is actually taken from a website about work placement, but you'll find out, and this is not, this is for people who are in work, adults in work outside of schools, that our school qualities link quite well. So have a look through and see if you can underline where they've mentioned our school qualities, and it'll help you understand why we make such a focus of them in school. It's not just about being in school, it's about how you can use them when you leave school as well. Okay, then we're going to look at PE. Now, I'm sure everyone knows who Joe Wicks is now. If you haven't joined in, then you can read a bit of information about him. We've also got some activities here. We've got a little board game that you can play, but actually will get you moving as well. We've also got some yoga, a bit of background to yoga if you want that yoga information. Some simple activities you can try at home, maybe convince other people to do them with you. And then we've got some activities based on the sort of HITS training, high intensity work that you'll see with Joe Wicks. So give those a go as well. And finally, these EHCP targets, because we don't just want you looking through sort of paperwork books. We want you to do some actual practical things at home. Changing the linen in everyone's bed, maybe you could take that on this week. Maybe you could have a look at some appropriate portion sizes and set some food out for other people. But do these things because they will add to your experience as well. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the English pack for post 16. It's pack 4. We're going to start off by looking at some capital letters. Remember, green activity, everyone should be able to do it, so change the first letter to a capital letter. Blue activity, most should do it or do it with a bit of support. So again, only circle the ones and change them if they are a brand name. Now, capital letters is something people forget all the way through up to GCSE and A level when I've taught it, so it is a good reminder for all of us. Okay, next thing we're looking at is using and recognising nouns. Okay, so we're just going to remind you what a noun is. Because it's actually, a noun is the word that is a name of a person, a place or a thing. So see if you can circle the nouns there. Okay, now remember, this is a green activity you all should do. When we move down to the blue ones, it's about doing it with support if you can. Or purple, where we're asking you to write some sentences, is only if you're able to do that or you have additional support at home for you. Speaking and listening tasks, you're going to practice watching something. I think everyone's going to enjoy that. And then talking about it with someone else in your home, because communication is a really important skill. So there's different instructions depending on the level that you're going to go for. Okay, then we're doing some descriptive writing. So we've got some pictures to inspire you. There's some little clues underneath that might help you. Again, more demanding requirements if you're on the purple activity. We're also going to be looking at reported speech. So this is how do you use punctuation to show that you're using speech, and it's about speech marks. You can see an example of the speech marks here if you've forgotten those, so do give that a go. Okay, then we're moving on to, we've got some more examples of direct speech. For the purple one, you're going to write 5 sentences to include it, and we would be able to use that in school for your qualification if you do that, so do that and hand it in to us as well, because that's useful. Right, next thing we're going to be looking at is practicing some comprehension skills, so reading the information and answering the questions. This is a green, you should all be able to do it. Okay, moving on to blue, so a bit more difficult, or with support if you have that at home. And then the purple one, read the information, answer the questions. It is more demanding. You can see there's a lot more information for you to take in there. Okay, and then an extension, if you do have access to the internet, you could write a little bit more information on that one. Right, a speaking task again. So you are going to look at a poem. Then you're going to discuss it together. Okay, so we've got a blue poem here. So most of you will be able to do this. You've got some questions you can work through together. And then for the purple activity, if I can open the page up, let's get it. Okay, you've got some different questions for you to answer there. Okay, then finally we're looking at writing better sentences. So what we want to do is add some interesting adjectives. So for example, we've got some information examples here, and then you're going to add some more information to those. For example, the man walked, and he didn't just walk, he walked reluctantly. Okay, so it gives us some more information about the types of adjectives you can use and where you would find them. Okay, the final activity here is the purple one, and we want you to be using the correct punctuation, writing clearly, using direct speech. Basically use all those skills that you've been looking at earlier on in this particular booklet and show off on a piece of writing. Okay, this is post 16, pack 4 for maths. As you can see, we're going to start off this week by looking a little bit at time. So remember, green activities, writing the days of the week in, should be something everyone can do. Blue activities, some of you can do or do it with support. We're going to write the date on this one. And then we've got a purple activity where we're looking at analogue clocks. That's what these are, the official term for these type of clocks. And the time written out here. So see if you can match them up, and then with a digital clock as well. Moving on to the next activity, we are going to look at the days of the week again, but this time what comes before or after a certain day of the week. Green then for everyone to do. Blue, we're going to make it a little bit more tricky or get that extra support. So it's about days within each month. And then finally our purple one, you're going to be converting AM and PM to the 24-hour clock. Now this is something you've done in class, you should be able to do this, always a bit of support. Lesson 3 then, we're going to carry on with time. We're going to look at some information about different parts of the year. When is it most likely to be hot or cold? Do discuss these at home if you're finding it tricky. Next one then, you're going to write down the times. We are just sticking with o'clock, so have a look at those if you're not sure. Get some support from people at home. And this time we're going to ask you to draw the time. So see if you can put the hands for the right clocks there. Then we've got for the purple activity, a bit more demanding. You're going to draw the time on the analog clock here, then you're going to add a certain amount of time, draw it again and write it digitally. So that is quite a task that demands quite a lot more. So either do it if you're confident or if you can get the support. Okay, and there's some more activities there linked into that one. Right, we're moving on then. We're going to look at the months of the year. So nice activity for everyone. If you can't write them down, you can cut them out and stick them. I know some of you prefer to do that. Then we're going to be looking at some clues. So for example, the last month of the year, you've got the answers up here, so you can copy them down. This time we're going to be looking at one calendar. So we've got November written down here, so see if you can answer some questions. It is a purple activity, remember though. Then we're going to look at time. So we're going to number the months from 1 to 12 in order. Cut them out if you feel more comfortable doing that. We're going to look at quarter past rather than just the hour. We've got some activities here that you can do. Then again, the more demanding one, looking an hour before, half an hour before, and mixing things up there for you. So have a go at that if you think you can or you've got the support at home for you. Right, next we're going to be looking at drawing some pictures. So winter months, bit of a description, understanding the seasons. Then we're going to be looking at the time, periods of time, and adding them in if you can. So again, I've got some more things here. Popular TV shows, how long is it? When's the start and when's the end? Converting time, okay, so 8:20 p.m. What would that be in 24-hour clocks? How would we write it down? Give it a go if you can. It's a purple task. We don't expect everyone to do it. Okay, lesson 7, we're looking at the calendar. Bit of a reminder again about how many days in the month. Some questions again. We're really hoping you're feeling more confident about these. So they are a little bit more tricky than last time. And some timetable questions, because again, it's about how we apply this outside of school as well. So final session, looking at months of the year. So filling in some gaps. This time we want you to be thinking about the length of the programme, start and finish. It's a blue activity this time because we think that having completed the other task, you should feel more confident doing this. And the purple activity this time, you are going to be looking at digital times and converting to 12-hour and 24-hour formation. And that's it for your maths. Thank you.